Welcome to Sports Track. The 22nd edition of the National Sports Festival is underway in Ogun State with an elaborate opening ceremony at the MKO Abiola Sports Arena in the capital, Abeokuta. Tagged the Gateway Game, the festival initially scheduled to hold in December last year, is unarguably one of the biggest so far in the country, with over 15,000 athletes competing for honors in 32 sports. The Vice President, Kashim Shettima, declared the games opened. AIC Sports is on ground in Abeokuta, and we shall be giving you update from the multi-sport event as they break. Now, let's join Sembe Shima by telephone from the MKO Abiola Sports Arena. Sembe, yeah, what an elaborate opening ceremony. What do you make of, all the cultural display in that one?
Traditional attire that I've never seen before, and I would say that I'm quite impressed with the show of our rich culture and tradition when it comes to Nigeria as a country. And it has been an amazing outing so far for talking about the opening ceremony. As it is right now, performances are still ongoing from artists that have been invited to thrill the crowd. But again, I said the contingent became in numbers, fully represented. The only problem we had here, or I saw here, was the fact that Benue State, which happens to be a state I'm from, didn't come up with a lot of contingents for the parade. However, I'm hoping that maybe some sort of, obstacle happened and they couldn't make it to the opening ceremony. But in the coming days, we'll be seeing contingents from that state as well, so we were told. However, every other state that was invited or was listed, that's the 36 states, and the FCC came here with contingents, and indeed it was colorful life.
All right, 15,000 athletes are competing in about 32 sports or thereabouts. What have you seen so far in terms of accommodation and transportation, as well as accessibility to the stadium, comparing that with the promises of the Director General of the Sports Commission? I think we already lost the signal with Sembe Shima. So we're bringing you up to speed with some of the things happening much later on, if we can get on in touch with her. We understand that for the first time in the competition, junior athletes are competing. Okay, we seem to have gotten our back on track. Sembe, so I was saying, Sembe.
Quickly, for me, I'll say this is the opening ceremony. We just got in here this morning. We've not gone through the hotel as promised by the DG that all athletes will be camped in one building, that is Backup University Hotel. We've not gone there to see the condition of the place. However, we've been told that athletes are taken care of and access to the stadium is smooth and sound. But, like I said, we have not seen it for ourselves. We'll go there to get details from tomorrow when the event is proper. But I would say that part of crowd here and the athletes that are the contingent that made it to the stadium here today, I can say for sure, to my own opinion, that getting to the stadium was not a problem. However it is, we'll find out in terms of accommodation, the quality of accommodation, and the access to the various sporting events. Mind you, not just the MKO Abiola Sporting Arena that will be hosting events. We have 7 event centers as well across the state that will be hosting various sporting events. So it is not about getting to the stadium, it's about the proximity to what event that the athletes will be participating in. But for now, we know that all athletes have been camped at the Bangkok Hotel and far away from here, from the MKO Abiola Sporting Arena.
Okay, for the first time, Sembe, junior athletes were invited for this competition, and we understand that medals are already being won. And surprisingly, a junior athlete is, I think, one of the ones that won the medal. Can you give us, any information on that at the moment?
So our own greater surprise as well. We were told, we got to know about that information while the DG was giving his speech on the podium on the welcome address, when he said, newsflash in his words. One of them, and the IJA has invited junior athletes, have already won gold medal. And mind you, the invited junior athletes have been served at the 38th state, which is for the first time in the history of the sport festival. We're going to be having a 38th state participation, that's the IJA. But we don't know which particular sport they won medals in. However, we will find out that as well. I told you earlier on in our talk that we just got here today, and so all the information that we need to know details of sporting activities, medals that have been won so far. We'll get all of that out before tomorrow.
Okay, talking about speeches, we've heard, you know, a lot of talks from administrators. What do you make of the speeches made by the administrators, particularly the vice president?
For the vice president who said to the president of Nigeria, that was never tricky. He said that he has commended and he commends the Ogun State government for coming up with this elaborate, because he has witnessed it and he's saying that indeed they have set a landmark for other states besides the Enugu state who will be hosting the tournament next. And he has commended the people of Ogun State for coming out in their numbers, saying that the federal government will put in more when it comes to sports in Nigeria to make sure that this particular substance continues in the sporting sector. And for the Ogun State...
All right, thank you very much, Sembe. Time is not our friend. You already know that, Sembe.